So something I'm working on, and I don't know if this is right. You tell me. I don't know. It seems to work logically in my mind. As you know, we have a self-tacking setup on Baru. Now, when we use the jib, with the jib stay in position, that gives me a problem of if we're using the genoa and we want to change tack, we have to put the genoa away, change tack, pull the genoa out. If you get caught and you can very quickly back the genoa onto the jib stay, and I don't like that. So I've taken the jib stay down, and so onto the clew of the genoa we put a quick release clip attached to the sheet for the self tacker. So that comes down to there. We've left the port and starboard sheet for the full genoa in position, and so what we do is we can furl out part way. It will come out a little bit further than I've got currently, but it will tack. The sail is just a bit smaller area than we have available to us with the jib sail that we were using. The other problem with the jib sail was it wouldn't fully furl away, and it was a clip-on, it wasn't on a foil, and I didn't want to put a foil up there either. So in higher winds, with that furled not fully away, it used to catch the wind and try unfurling. It was a bit of a pain. Worked nicely when you were sailing up to a certain level of wind, but no, it didn't really work as I wanted. So we're going to give this a try. You tell me, am I right, am I wrong? I don't know. So what we're going to do this time is do a little bit of modification to our fueling system. Many of you that have followed us for a while will know I am particularly keen on fuel, and something that I've seen over the past year, and we were caught out last year, is the number of yachts that are having to be rescued by the RNLI due to fueling issues. And so following our issue last year, we made one modification, which is to put the dual fueling system in. And something else that I have noticed in many, many yachts, and it surprises me, really does surprise me, how many primary filters are in almost inaccessible positions. And I think it's critical that primary filters are put in a position where you can see them and easily and quickly get to them. On Baru, it wasn't. They now are. But now I'm going to add a further step to our system. We already put double filters in line. Now what I'm going to do is put a priming and recirculating pump so we can polish our own fuel on board. And so to make it up, an electric fuel pump. We've got two L valves. Now in this handle down position, I'll set it up so handle down is running position on both. So on the inlet side, this always on these L valves, the bottom of the T is the common. So in this case, this will be fuel from the filters up, and in the down position that comes out this side, so that will go then to the engine and for running. With the handle in this position, this will be fuel in from the filters, then this will come out of this end of the valve to the pump, which will then come through, be pulled through the pump, pulling the fuel through the filters. So again, bottom is common, so that's return to tank in this case. So this will be fuel from engine, return, and straight through back to tank. And with the valve set in this position, this end will be connected to the outlet of the pump, so it will draw the fuel through the valve and back to tank. Okay, so let's say filtration system there. I'm going to mount the pump onto this backboard here, so it'll be as high up as I can get, but it'll be about there, sort of central, and then at either end I can put the various valves. So just to recap on our fuel filtration and recirculation system, we've got two filters, water trap filters. We're actually running on the red one, filter 1. That's been in place now since Scotland last year, and it's just starting to show some signs of degradation, so that's getting ready to be changed, and because of that I decided I would fit this new part to it, which is got a centralized pump. We've got two L valves which are like these, and with the handles in the across horizontal position on both of them. They are on recirc. If they were in the vertical position down, they will be on run for engine running. And so that pump is just drawing fuel up and through that number 1 filter there, and then recirculating it straight back to tank through that valve there. Okay, so we've been running for a couple of hours or so on the fuel polishing. Got a backlight behind the glass bowl here, showing the fuel, and there is some debris coming through, some water particles in there, which is fantastic. I did expect that. I will just see how that goes later on, before I change the filter. We're going to replace with another Baldwin filter. There's 3 O-rings, large ones and 2 smaller ones. The 2 smaller ones, the bigger of the 2 goes onto a boss underneath the metal top. The very small one goes onto the bolt, and then these 3 are different. There's 2 the same size and one just very slightly bigger. The bigger one goes onto the metal top underneath. One goes to the right to the bottom, and the other one sits on top of the glass bowl. A little bit of prep. I've just put a little bucket underneath, because one of the things with these filters, when you drop them away, you lose all the fluid out. Yeah, and it's an 11mm nut. It's a long bolt that goes all the way down, so you just have to undo this. What I've done in prep is I've turned the fuel off, and I've put the system onto recirc, but not the pump on. That's just to stop me losing any fuel that is in there, because it is under slight vacuum. I don't want to lose that. So that's the bolt out, and that's got one of the tiny O-rings on. That's the old filter, and we've got a little bit of crud on top. So just ease this out, then I'll clean everything up and get ready to put it all back together. The smaller of the two large rings goes in the metal plate at the bottom, and the bigger one goes onto the top of the glass bowl. Then there's an O-ring up of the larger of the two smaller ones. There's a groove up underneath there, that goes into there, and the very small one goes onto the bolt. So the one underneath here is a little bit awkward. You've just got to try and prise it out. There we go, I've just got it, just caught the corner of it, and then that can come off. And we can carefully slide the new one on. Putting it on is much easier than taking it off. And then we've got to take this one out. And there we go, I've just got that away. Let's just fill the new one back into its groove. Right, so with that O-ring in and our seal in place, and we've got to make sure, and this is very, very important, that it hasn't twisted, and this hasn't. So with new O-rings in under there, that filter will just hold itself in position just long enough for you to bring the glass part and the bottom part up through the centre and hold it in position while you screw the bolt through. So again, just make sure everything feels right and sits right before you just nip that up. Not too tight, just needs to be nipped to seal. And providing all the O-rings are seated correctly, that'll seal at that. There we go. So I can turn the fuel tap back on and I can put the pump on. And that should start drawing fuel through. So we'll give it a little bit of time to do that. And there we go. Just a couple of minutes of pumping and then we're bringing fuel through into that filter. And that's a good sign we've got a good seal as well. And there the pump has changed its noise. And we'll let that just flow through to get rid of any air. So that was the filter change. You can see in the bottom of there, that's some of the crud that's come through. And that was all in the bottom of that fuel filter bowl. Just start her up, hopefully. There we go.